going go-karting also. So in about a couple hours, we're going go-kart with Jenna, my girlfriend. 3 o'clock to 6 o'clock, 6 one-on-one calls with all my students. I have another 6 one-on-one calls from 3 o'clock to 6 o'clock tomorrow. So this is 99% of the time all I really need. Maybe with an additional confirmation.
Hey, I can hear you and everything. Put your camera on, boy, so I can see you. You can get funded. There's no reason you can't get a payout. It's just the only difference is staying in the game long enough to actually accumulate that many winning days. Look at the back of my phone. It got ran over.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to another video. Today, it is a beautiful Saturday. Today's gonna be hot. I looked at the weather. The first thing I noticed was gonna be 85 degrees. It's gonna be a hot day. It's gonna be a busy day. So from 3 o'clock to 6 o'clock, I have approximately 6 one-on-one calls with all my students. I have another 6 one-on-one calls from 3 o'clock to 6 o'clock tomorrow. So I got about 12 one-on-one calls. I have an onboarding call with one of my students. No, I have 2 onboarding calls with one of my students this weekend. Yeah, it's gonna be a busy weekend, no cap. I gotta hop on the call right now with the team. We have our group calls every weekend too. So if you're counting all the calls I'm doing, I'm probably doing like 13, 14 calls. But listen, that's the job. The charts aren't open right now. So you know what? We have other things to take care of. We have other business to take care of. We have other responsibilities to take care of. We're going go-karting also. So in about a couple hours, we're going go-kart with Jenna, my girlfriend. And then my girlfriend has work at 3. Whole lot of running around. But guess what? We're going to make it happen. Happy to be here. Happy to be alive. I'm ready to change some lives. Let's get straight to it. I'm going to give you some game and everything from that clips. If you're not part of the team, to where you can actually be part of the live calls right now, to where you can actually see the recording if you're not able to make it live. Make sure you join the team if you want to work with me one-on-one. You want to be able to make your first 5 figures when it comes to trading. I'm going to teach you exactly how. I can guarantee you that. So I'm going to give you some free game. And if you want the real game, tap on in. But let's have a great day. For the people that don't know, my little 3-step process that I always do, I always mark up the previous highs and lows. That's number 1. I mark up the Asian session highs and lows. That's 2. And then 3, I mark up my higher time frame for value gaps. Based off of these 3 things, I always have everything I'm looking for when it comes to looking for a trade. I don't ever need more. I never really need less. This is 99% of the time all I really need. Maybe with an additional confirmation. If you want the additional confirmations, like these are like my main confirmations I'm looking for. My additional confirmations are always going to be things such as the fib, big figure levels. What else? Big figure levels, fibs, and honestly, the biggest one is timing, but timing is always going to be there. Besides these 6 things, I can promise you guys this. I'm not looking for anything crazy. I'm not looking for anything that you can't catch. I'm not looking for anything that is impossible to find. I am not. Trust me, anybody that has traded my system, that has traded my strategy, I'm not sure who's in the call right now, who trades how I trade, that has gotten a payout specifically. If, where was he at? If Isaac was here, he'll be able to tell you. There's nothing complicated about it. If he can do it using the same shit, anybody can. Trust me, the main thing is you understanding yourself and making sure that you can use the system, you can use the strategy, because it works. I can tell you that it works. It's a matter of you making it work. Now let's get into Monday. So if we're going to be marking up Monday, we're going to be marking up the previous high from Friday, because that would be the day before Monday. Boom. So you can see overall it was a bearish day. Why was it bearish? Because we didn't run the previous high, we ran the previous low, and we opened up here and we closed down here. So the opening price and the closing price are different because it dropped. It's a bearish day. You can either look at the open and close, or you can simply look at the candle structure as itself. We can all clearly see that this was overall bearish day. I'm going to mark up the Asian session range. So from 18 o'clock all the way to midnight. So from 18 o'clock all the way to here. First thing I noticed is when we got this open, I left the gap. This gap that was here is the weekly open. As you guys know, every week on Sunday, the market opens. When the market opens, it tends to leave a gap behind. Sometimes that gap is going to look exactly like this. Now, this isn't something that I'm using every day or every time, but this is just going to act as a higher time frame for value gap. So maybe it didn't get traded into now, but going into the future, this is more likely going to get targeted with their price. Now, even though it didn't really do anything for a trade idea, it's just something I wanted you guys to be aware of. Next, we're going to have the higher time frame for value gaps, which I'm not going to go too high time frames since we're on the back testing. I'm going to try to stick to the hour. But the first thing I'm noticing is I see some good trades. And the trade that I do see is a fair value gap move. Now, I always draw this schematic. Like this is 99% of the time all I'm looking for. I'm waiting for a consolidation. I'm gonna wait for price to run either above the old high or low, reverse, wait for retracement, and look for it to keep going. I'm either looking to get in when price has a false break at the high or low. This is gonna act as one form of entry I like to look for. Or if I miss that move, I will wait for price to trade into a fair value gap. And when it trades into the fair value gap, that would be the second move I would look for. The false break or fair value gap fill is literally all I look for on a daily basis. If I were to put this upside down, it'll be the same thing. If I'm looking for bullish, I will be looking for a break of a low, or I'm gonna be looking for a retracement into a fair value gap. It's literally the same two things. Now, this right here is all I use. It's never gonna look perfectly like this, but I can promise you this is the same thing that I'm using on a daily basis. Let me look at what happened over here. We had the A's in session range. A's in session range. Now, even though we didn't run the A's in session high, it got close. Nothing is always going to be perfect, but the high of the day was already created during London. So even though this didn't run the Asia high, the high of the day was during London session. From there, price dropped, retraced, and it kept going. Now I'm going to pull this over here. Oh, I drew it with two lines. Do it like this. This doesn't look too different, do it? Consolidation, drop, retracement, now it went into that. The only difference would be really if price would have just had a really strong run of that high. But that's cool. But now let me just show you the real price action, because this is all schematics to give you an idea on what I look for. But now let's look at the actual price action of it. So what would have made this very ideal, what would have made me 100% sure that London created the high of the day, is if we would have created a wick such as like this. If we would have created a wick at the high of the day and traded into that open gap that I was talking to you guys about from here, this would have been an amazing trade. For one, the time that it happened was 3 a.m. So if at 3 a.m., which is the equivalent to the 9:30 open for New York session, but this is the open for London session, the open for London ran above the Asian session high, traded into 42,700 big figure level, and then it would hit this gap. That would have been a nice trade. That would have been beautiful, but that didn't happen. Price barely ran it, and that's been happening all week. Price will come very close to a higher low, and it just won't run it. That's a tendency of a choppy week. That's a tendency of when the conditions aren't the best. But guess what? Nothing's going to be perfect. It was perfect. Everybody would be able to make money. But with that same understanding, by the time we came to the charts, price was still bearish. Even though it didn't run this high, everything was still overall bearish. If we look at the trend from the previous days before this, the price was also bearish. So overall, I would have been looking for shorts. Now, based off the shorts, I'm either looking for a false break or I'm looking for a fair value gap fill. Did we get a false break at the London high? No. So what is the next step? From here, price dropped. When it dropped, there was a gap that got left behind from what time? 3 a.m. Would you look at that? Ain't that some shit? So you're telling me the gap that got created was created at 3 a.m. Shocker. Coincidence? I think not. But this gap got created. This is the gap that I told you guys. If you're not able to catch that false break move, there's always going to be another opportunity. You just got to wait. And it gave a retracement. And that's exactly what we got here. A retracement into the gap that got left behind. Now, I'm going to keep on saying this. If London would have ran this high and made a wick like that, that would have been an amazing move. But it didn't happen. But nonetheless, this is still smooth. How could I have caught this trade besides the fact that it was 9 o'clock and just at this 1 hour for value gap? And it was bearish. In itself, those confirmations are more than enough for us to want to take this trade. At 9:30 in the morning, we got a 1 hour for value gap fill, and we're already bearish. That's cool. If we also look to the right, where are we at? We have 42,600, which is a big figure level, which is another confirmation. It's just adding to the reason for why price is likely going to have a reaction here. When you think about my system, when you think about how I trade, just look at it like this. We have multiple different confirmations we look for. If I have a trade that has multiple confirmations, the likelihood of having a reaction from that area is more likely. If I have a trade and there's only 2 to 3 confirmations, that doesn't mean it's not going to play out. It just means that I may not be as confident to take the trade. It may just mean that it's not as likely to have a reaction compared to the one that may have a lot more reasons, right? You get what I'm saying? But that's all it is. This is basically like a confirmation, a confluent system. We read price action, we read the market, we see what's going on to see if it's likely going to have a reaction based off of everything else. So 9:30, 1 hour for value gap, 42,600. Let's also take it a step further. I always tell you guys, the easiest way to draw the fibs is drawing it from the previous day's highs and lows. So in this case, if I were to draw a fib from this previous day's high to the lowest point before we got the retracement, I'm gonna pull a fib and I'm gonna see if there's also a fib level that lines up with this. Before I draw the fib, I can guarantee you it's either gonna be the 50% or the 38.20%. 38.20% is it's damn near perfect, ain't it? Well, look at that. Damn near perfect with the closure of the candle, but I'm gonna even take it a step further and get the 50% because 50% looks like it'll also be right there. Ain't it just very fucking clean in the same area? So let's add that to the confirmations. We had the fib short also. So now you see how we're just stacking up reasons for why price is likely gonna have a reaction at the specific time. Price is overall bearish, so we're looking for shorts. It retraced into a gap that got created from London session after London drop, which is following the bias of being bearish. We traded into a 1 hour fair value gap. I am not getting into a trade unless I have one of the two things that I told you guys earlier. I'm not getting into a trade unless there's a fair value gap fill, or I'm not getting into a trade unless there's a false break of old higher low. Those are the two main things that I'm looking for to get into a trade. The 42,600 big figure level, the fib, any of those things are all external. I'm looking for a false break or a fair value gap fill first because that is something within price action. A fib isn't price action. That is just a retracement of an area. The big figure level, that is price, but it's not price action. It's just simply price. And it's a reason why price will have a reaction from an area. But when it comes to pure price action, old highs and lows, when it comes to highs and lows, when it comes to the candle closures, fair value gaps, and false breaks are gonna be the first things I'm looking for aside from time. I'm showing up at the right time, and then I'm looking for a false break or a fair value gap, and then I'm trying to see if there's other confirmations that align with that false break or fair value gap. In this case, this was a fair value gap move. Where would the ideal entry have been? If we were looking for shorts, the safest possible entry would have been getting in as soon as price hit that gap. As soon as it hit it with about maybe a 50-point stop loss. 50 in this case looks like mad short, so 100 points. I'm either using 50 or 100. In this case, 100 looks like it would have been made more sense. And then look at this trade idea. This is fucking beautiful. Now, mind you, this is hindsight. I don't think I caught this trade, but this is a beautiful trade. Because keep in mind, the whole reason you would have been taking this trade is because you're basically taking the expectation that you were going to bear since London session because we created this fair value gap after almost running the ace of session high, trading into that weekly gap. From there at 9:30, we traded into the gap and then we just fell. All right, so right now we just got done with the call and everything. I'm about to get this all uploaded because I do gotta go go-karting. I'm trying to get that all done before we gotta go to like all the stuff I gotta do later on, so I don't have to worry about that. But I'm about to upload this for all the people. It's about an hour call. If you're not part of the team, you're missing out. I'm not even gonna promote it because listen, the gain that you guys got from that, that's all you need to know. If you want more access to that, links in the description. But I'm about to take a shower, get my day started.
I'm trying to stop trading and
Okay.
just started focusing on school, but it's like now that I have a better understanding of it, I actually want to start trading.
Copy.
So
At least your mom was introduced to it because it won't be as hard for her to understand it compared to other people. I will say that's one beneficial thing because the fact that she started it, at least you could finish it. So it's not like, man, it don't work. Man, maybe it didn't work for you. Maybe it didn't work for you, but I'm gonna make it work. So you're nothing too in depth in that then. Like on a specific, just kind of just broadening your knowledge when it comes to it, if that makes sense, right?
yeah, basically.
Okay, makes sense. So if you're still, like, how was your understanding on candlesticks? All right, I had just hopped off one of the one-on-one calls. This was actually an onboarding call. This isn't like one of the one-on-ones that for people that are actually part of the team. This is one-on-one ones that when somebody signs up to the team to get them all situated and everything. So we just got my boy Jalen set up. He's new into trading. He's about to be going crazy, but it's just a start. It is just a start. He's only gonna be going up, but we gotta get started first, get him on into tune with the system, in tune with the process and everything. But from there, we gonna get him right. You'll see his payout coming soon. Nah, I lost my AirPods, but we just got to the spot. This shit's a little bit bright. But yeah, we just got to the place. This is the same spot we went when we had the lamb truck and everything when we was all in Clearwater. So if you remember that from the vlogs, you a real one. If you're not subscribed yet, subscribe because you've been around for a while. And that's a lot of videos since then. But we about to go crazy. I got the GoPro and everything, so I'm gonna get some content on there. We about to go crazy. My biggest thing is I hope I don't fuck my hand up. That's the only problem here. I just don't like, but I don't think the go-karts don't fully turn, do they? The wheel doesn't fully turn. It's only like 180.
Just use more power.
But it's like a 180. It's not a full 360.
Yeah,
Bro.
no, it's just-
So I think I'll be straight because it's not like once I fully turn. If I'm just like,
You shouldn't have to let go of the
yeah,
rail, you know what I'm
I think we'd be straight. Worst case scenario, I fuck my hand up more. But you know, I guess we'll be all right. But we about to have some fun. Let's go over there. I got the calls at 3 o'clock, so we got some time until then. Let's have a good time. I'm gonna see you on the GoPro. Alright, so we got done the race and everything. A little update. My phone is cracked. I cracked my phone because I ran it over, but you guys already know that because you've seen the content. You already know. But right now we're getting food at Bahama Breeze. After we get food here, I'm about to hop on some calls. I'm probably going to have Jenner drive back because I do have to hop on these one-on-ones. It is 3 o'clock right now, and that is the start of my one-on-one sessions for the day. So yeah, it's going to be a fun one, but we're going to make it happen. No cap, so let's get straight to it. What's going on, Birdie? Now, yeah, I can hear you and everything. Put your camera on, boy, so I can see you. There we go. See, that's what I was looking for, Birdie. Here, say what's up to the camera while we're here. Say what's up, Birdie.
What's up?
Now, we about to get you right. We about to get you right. Look at this. St. Patrick's Day, they all out here going crazy. They got the green water. They got the parade. Hey, yo. They gonna give me copyright. Yeah, they wildin'. Look at all the boats. Stay outside, though. They outside. How was this week?
This week, it was pretty smooth. More like how can I say? Because last week I was watching your course. I was watching the whole thing, and it was pretty simple, pretty straightforward. Like you trade like fair value gaps.
Yeah,
like,
pretty
liquidity
self-explanatory.
gaps. Yeah. So I'm just working on doing a full switch to with
Futures?
features. Yeah, because I know it's different. 'Cause, like this not contracts, but it's different from because forex I can just risk whatever I risk.
Yeah, contracts are gonna be different than lot sizes.
Yeah, how much are each contract? Like, how does that?
What do you trade? What are you gonna trade, NAS or US 30? Or gold?
Obviously NAS.
NAS. So for every,
They still move the same kind of.
they move the same, but they'll be valued differently. If that makes sense. So they'll move similar in price action, but the value of each thing is what's gonna be different. So in this case, if you wanted to calculate the contract size on MNQ, there's a mini and there's a micro. If you're going to be trading the minis, those are going to be bigger.
Like half, like one. Yeah,
it's going to be bigger. The micro is going to be less. So you'll be able to risk less. If you wanted to say, for example, have one contract with a 30-point stop loss on the mini, not the mini, on the micro. So think about this. You're taking a trade with a 30-point stop loss, right? If you risk one contract, you'll be risking $65.
Okay.
So if
that
you
makes sense.
if you do the math on that, if you had two contracts with 30 points, you'll be risking 130.
60, right? Will that be
Yeah.
120?
It'll be 65, so it'll be 130.
Oh, 130. Okay.
So if you do if you do the math too, so for every 1 point is going to be 4 ticks. So when you put your stop loss on futures, you're going to put it in ticks. So if you want a 30-point stop loss, what's 30 times 4?
120.
So it'll be 120. 120. Oh, so I did that backwards. So 120 ticks will be a 30-point stop loss, and you'll be risking $60. With two contracts with a 30-point stop loss, meaning 120 ticks, you'll be risking $120. I got Jenna over here. This nigga watching. Hold on.
We lit bad. Y'all went go-kart today, right?
Wait. So you were on challenges last week, and then you passed them this week?
I won funded last week, and then I had one challenge last week, and then I passed the challenge, so we got the 2 fundeds now.
Copy. All right, good work. This on my funded futures, right?
Yeah.
And God, I'm back after doing the dirty. I feel it, but we back in action.
Back in action. Hey, I lose my 2 L's a day. That's on max.
Hey, that's all it is. I mean, if you can get funded, there's no reason you can't get a payout. It's just the only difference is staying in the game long enough to actually accumulate that many winning days and not blowing it, just killing yourself before you get to those 3, 4, 5. It's just a matter of just actually being there to just now get a withdrawal. Actually being there to just be able to walk away and just withdraw something that you have. But now you said you're gonna record it too. You're gonna start recording it.
Yeah, record the process.
I think it'll be a good way to kind of hold discipline, because especially if you have other people watching, it won't be as like, oh, nobody else knows what you did today. There's going to be other people that know. And even if not a lot of people watch it, it's going to be also just kind of you holding it to yourself. Like, that's one of the main things that I did also before. It kind of just holds it to you actually holding your word, you actually doing what you're supposed to. And it's just another way of accountability. Don't go attack Jenner. Oh, you look, guess who went over to you? Oh, Luna. I think she might be good. Are you allergic to dogs or just this dog? Oh, yeah. Get out of here, doggy. Go over there. Go sit down. You got a whole bed. But yeah, just got done the one-on-ones. I don't know what the vibes is. My girl still got to get back from work. Whenever she's done that, I'm not sure how the work situation be and how that should be going. But that GoPro footage was crazy. You guys more than likely already seen it at this point of the vlog. My phone is cracked as shit. Let me show you guys again. Shit is cracked. I mean, it could be worse. I ain't that mad. Listen, look at the back of my phone. It got ran over. Like there's a whole, you can see the tire mark. You can see where the tire ran it over. It's just crazy. I don't know what the vibes are, but the calls are done for the day. The value's given. Might just sit down. We about to go get some food, drop Jenner off, and then we about to go to a store. No, we're not. I lied. We're getting food and coming back. We're not going to a store. We're going to go to a store tomorrow, though. But the food, honestly, is probably done by now, so we got to get the fuck up out of here. But we about to hop in C63. So how we about to do this? So there's like no room in the back seat. So we're going to see how this plays out. We're going to test out the back seat for the first time. We didn't test it out in the C43. So at least we get to test it out in the C63. Let's see how this works. Okay. We got your shoes here, Jenner. Want your crotch? You want to get in the back or are you going to get in the front? Okay. My girlfriend's going to try to get in the back. Let me know how you feel. How much room you got? Oh, you like it, huh? You sitting down and shit? Okay, my fault. Copy. Looks like it's more comfortable than it looks. At least for her. What's she looking at? Admiring it? Ugh. Get another cold start for y'all.
I get to be around Beamers all the time.
Yeah, it's good to be around the Benz for once. Where the video is gonna come to, and we got our food. Jenner's dropped off. I gave you guys about 20 minutes of vlog when it comes to the educational session from the team. That was also, I give you guys some clips. If you want the full access to be there for every session, you gotta be part of the team. First link in the description, you can work with me one-on-one, all of that good stuff. So yeah, 20 minutes of vlog, you know the vibes, but this is where the video is gonna come to an end. I gotta edit it all, I gotta get to work. I'm trying to eat this food, I'm trying to go to sleep. And yeah, besides that, y'all have a good one. Stay safe, stay productive, stay busy. And you know, I'll give you a little quote. You only live once.